So Disney has announced a triple bundle that includes Disney Plus, the ad-supported version of Hulu, and ESPN Plus. Cnet has a list of what they hear is going to be on the Disney Plus streaming service, and also Disney is considering rebooting several Fox franchises for that service. How do I personally feel about this? Let's talk about them all right now. Hey everybody, Blood Moon Bobby here, and yes, as you can see, I've added a new addition to my filming set, and you can see right there that is a plushie of Butterfly Mode Star, the same one that was at Comic-Con. Huge thank you again to Valentina Ruiz for getting it for me. I really like having her on the set, but yeah, it's definitely really cool. So anyway, we're here to talk about quite a few things regarding Disney Plus. It's taken me such a long time to finally get to talk about the latest announcements of Disney Plus. I've actually tried making videos about it over the past couple of days, but a lot of them didn't come out really good due to things like technical difficulties. And there's honestly so much information, to talk about that, I really wanted to make sure that I got it, as right as I possibly could. So here I am again talking about it. It's going to be, a bit of a long ride, but I hope you guys will be in for it all because there's quite a few things to talk about. So we'll talk about the first thing, as I mentioned in the intro, and that is on top of how you'll be able to purchase Disney Plus on its own for $6.99 per month, Disney is also coming out with this triple bundle where they include Disney Plus, the ad-supported version of Hulu, and ESPN Plus. Now, normally those three together would cost right around $18 a month if this bundle didn't exist, but Disney will be offering this bundle for $12.99 per month. And the other thing I wanted to talk about is you might remember a while back, Disney CEO Bob Iger said that pretty soon after launch, and pretty much every Disney movie from the Disney Vault would be coming to the Disney Plus streaming service. And at least from the vibe I'm getting from this Cnet article, that might not be exactly the case. It seems like, Disney's going to, spread out their content, quite a bit more based on what I've been hearing. If you go to the Cnet article, you'll see a full list of the shows and movies that they know of that are coming to the Disney Plus service. Obviously, yes, there's going to be original content, and if you want to see more about the original content that's coming, please be sure to check out this article. But what I've been mainly interested in is what movies and shows will we be seeing on the service. So I'll have all the ones that Cnet listed, the ones that they say are coming on day one to the service. You'll see, clips from that article right here in the video. And I will say, there's definitely, quite a few things to check out as far as content that, Disney has already made, Disney, Marvel, and even Star Wars. I mean, there's definitely a decent amount of content. And CNET, it says that Pixar or every Pixar movie will be coming to Disney Plus except for Toy Story 4, but it will come down the line. And I think I've mentioned this before in my previous Disney Plus videos. Basically, every Disney movie released going forward will be exclusive to Disney Plus because, that's the way that Disney wants to roll. So, yeah, if you want to see every single movie and show that was listed there, at least according to CNET, you can go back to those lists, and you could even feel free to pause the video if you want to see absolutely everything. There's definitely quite a few things to watch, but there's definitely some notable omissions, which we'll get to talking about in a second. The other thing I wanted to tell you all about is that Disney is thinking of reviving some Fox franchises for the Disney Plus service, including Cheaper by the Dozen, Night at the Museum, Diary of a Wimpy Kid, and you might have heard from Macaulay Culkin, Home Alone. So, yeah, that's quite a few things to go over, and I'm going to get into them as much as possible. So I'll start off with the triple bundle. Now, the first thing I should have realized, especially now that Disney basically has full reign over Hulu now, I should have realized, because one of my concerns was when Disney Plus was on the way, I was like, oh, great, does this mean people are going to have to subscribe to Netflix, Hulu, and Disney Plus if they want to get their content? Like me personally, I like Netflix's movie selection, but I prefer Hulu when it comes to things like TV shows. So I was like, oh, does this mean people are going to have to subscribe to multiple services? It should have occurred to me that now, because Disney basically has full reign over Hulu, I should have thought that maybe they'll come up with some kind of deal that would involve both Disney Plus and Hulu. So I think that this triple bundle that includes Disney Plus, is the ad-supported version of Hulu and ESPN Plus, is a good idea in principle, but I'm not really sure, if it's really going to get, as many people possible on board. Like me personally, I'm not really a sports fan, so if I took on this triple bundle, I really wouldn't know what to do with ESPN Plus. I mean, I'm a person that enjoys things like sports photography and the Olympics, but I honestly very seldomly watch ESPN. If you're a sports fan yourself and you really like watching ESPN, the more the merrier for you. I'm sure this is going to be a really fantastic deal. But me personally, I kind of wish that Disney would come out with maybe like a third bundle where people can just subscribe to both Disney Plus and the ad-supported version of Hulu. If you put those two together, they both cost like just on their own right now. Well, Disney Plus isn't out yet, but you get my point. If no bundle existed, Disney Plus and Hulu and ad-supported Hulu would basically cost actually right around the same as this deal. But the thing about taking on this deal I would still technically be paying for a service that I wouldn't really use. So I really hope that Disney comes out with some kind of deal, whether it's before launch or after launch. Anytime is better than never. I'd really like to see them come out with some kind of bundle that includes Disney Plus and the ad-supported version of Hulu. If you're an ESPN fan yourself, I'm sure the triple bundle, is going to be really great for you. But for people like me, as well as I'm sure a lot of people that watch this channel that really aren't into sports, I don't really know about taking on this deal. The other thing I wanted to get into is Cnet's list of shows and movies that are on the service. So once again, Cnet points out that, details are absolutely subject to change. Maybe, Disney will make some additions. This is as far as they know right now. I guess I shouldn't be too surprised that it doesn't really sound like, we're going to get, all the the movies coming out of the Disney Vault on the service on day one. Like they did say that, if you want to see movies like Toy Story 4 and Avengers Endgame, you're going to have to wait a bit to see those movies. But I do think, it is a large list. I will say it does include movies like Frozen, Moana, Snow White, Fantasia, surprisingly Steamboat Willie, which I've actually never seen the original Steamboat Willie, and I'm really glad that Disney is putting it on the Disney Plus service. And there is, a decent amount of TV shows on the list. Like I did see that it includes some Marvel shows, That's So Raven, Goof Troop, both the original DuckTales as well as the first season of the DuckTales reboot, and also Kim Possible. So, by definition, yes, this is a pretty, good list to start off with. It also includes both the prequel trilogy and the original trilogy of Star Wars. And I know some people out there are going to say, don't watch the prequels, but I want to give my own take on the prequels. But at the same time, if you go through this list, especially like if you're the kind of person that knows every single movie that's in the Walt Disney Animation Studios official canon, you're definitely going to see some notable absences. And I'm kind of wondering if Disney's going to do the thing kind of like what Netflix does, where they put some new content on the service every month, but they take some away. Because like a perfect example is I didn't see the animated 1991 version of Beauty and the Beast. So I'm wondering if Disney's thinking that if, let's say for instance, they put Beauty and the Beast on the service, Disney's concern might be, well, yeah, but if we, put that movie on there forever, then people might be very lax about it. Like they might say things like, yeah, I mean, it's great, but since, it'll be on the service forever, I don't have to watch it now, because I don't have to worry about it ever being taken off the service. Whereas if they do something urgent, like, like let's say several months down the line, they decide to put Beauty and the Beast on Disney Plus for, let's say, Valentine's Day, then you'll probably get a lot of social media attention from people saying, oh my God, it's finally coming to the service, especially for fans of that movie. And if it does leave, I'm not saying, this is just pure speculation, then you're going to be at people who are like, oh my God, Disney is taking away the movies after all, I have to go see it, oh my God. So it kind of creates that sense of urgency, and admittedly, I think it would, generate a lot of traffic, for people to go see movies, especially, if people are panicking about them being taken away from Disney Plus. Is this happening for sure? I don't know from myself, but I'm kind of speculating in terms of, will Disney pull that off, despite what Iger said. I mean, I know when reports started coming out when Iger said that hey, basically every Disney movie from the Disney Vault will be part of the streaming service. I know that some people who took it as, yay, that means no more movies being put back in the Disney Vault, but I'd be very curious to see where Disney Plus goes when it launches. And that, and also speaking of the content, I've voiced concerns about this before in my other Disney Plus videos. The Cnet list does not include, certain shows that I've talked about before, and I know that many people that watch this channel really, really like. So I would like to see more of those shows on the service, because I know Disney's the kind of company that where the only thing, they'll listen to is if they see, if it's something that they could make the absolute most money from. But at the same time, I'd like to see them put shows like Star vs. the Forces of Evil, like Amphibia, like Gravity Falls, like Wander Over Yonder on Disney Plus, especially since, it's being built up as, it's going to be Disney's, one really big streaming home. So, and especially since those shows have such vocal followings, I'd like to see them put those shows on there at some point down the line. Which brings me to the last thing I'll talk about in this video, and that is the Fox franchises that Disney is thinking of rebooting for Disney Plus. I'm gonna have to take these one at a time. I'll start off with Cheaper by the Dozen, which I'll just straight up say I don't really have experience with Cheaper by the Dozen, so leave me your thoughts down below if you'd like to see Disney reboot Cheaper by the Dozen for Disney Plus. By the way, when they say reboot, they weren't very specific in terms of, are they going to make like TV shows out of them, or are they going to make movies out of them, or something like that. So I'm just basically telling you what I'd like to see them do with these franchises, if anything at all. So next thing I'll go into is Diary of a Wimpy Kid. Me and my sis used to read the Diary of a Wimpy Kid books a lot, and I haven't seen every one of the Diary of a Wimpy Kid movies. I've seen Roderick Rules. I know that my sis has told me she didn't really like the first one, but what I'd like to see Disney do with Diary of a Wimpy Kid is I'd like to see it actually do like a cartoon based on, maybe like a cartoon sort of TV series based on the Diary of a Wimpy Kid books. Because even though, yes, the movies do capture the humor of the Diary of a Wimpy Kid books, I always felt that because they were live action, and I'm not one of those people who is like super, against like, live action movies, especially if they're done well. But I'm just saying, the thing about Diary of a Wimpy Kid was I thought that the very simple art style of the books, with the really quirky black and white illustrations, was so much of that franchise's personality. So like when I watched the movies, yes, I know they use bits and pieces of the cartoon forms of the characters, but for like 90% of the movie, you're just see them being played by, live actors. So what I like to see them do is like maybe do an animated series, in a very similar art style as the books, and maybe getting author Jeff Kinney involved. I think that would honestly be really great. I would like to see them either do a thing where they either base, if they do a TV series, if they either base the episodes on the stuff that's already in the Diary of a Wimpy Kid books, or if they do a thing where they make completely new adventures. I mean, either way, I'm really hoping to seeing what they do. And if they decide to do like original new adventures, they wouldn't have to stick, they wouldn't have to be restricted by, doing things that's in the book. And also they wouldn't have to just, repeat and repeat and repeat things all over again. I mean, Diary of a Wimpy Kid definitely had its funny moments, but I would also like to see them do some really fresh things too. Next franchise I'll talk about is Night at the Museum. I'm guessing because they mentioned the word reboot, I'm guessing they're gonna move on from doing things with like Ben Stiller and maybe much of the original Night at the Museum cast. I've seen the first two Night at the Museum movies. The first one I like. The second one I thought was really goofy. So yeah, but if you like the second and third ones, much more power to you. So I'm guessing, when they say reboot, it sounds like maybe they want to get like a new actor to play the role. Not that I thought Ben Stiller or much of the original cast was, bad or anything, especially God bless you, Robin Williams. But, I'm guessing they may want to get a new actor to play the security guard that, walks around the museum. Maybe even, going into a, new museum. I think, in the first one, it was set, in the New York Natural History Museum. And the second one was set in Washington, D.C. So, and I think the third one was set in London. So it's maybe getting a new museum, maybe getting some new historical characters from different points in history and that sort of thing, and maybe making some new Night at the Museum movies, starting from there. Maybe they could do a TV show. I'm very skeptical either way in terms of if they could really pull that off or not and still keep it, really entertaining and funny. But I'm at least open to seeing, what Disney decides to do with Night at the Museum. Last but certainly not least, is Home Alone. And honestly, I'm pretty much in everybody's boat when it comes to Home Alone. The first two Home Alone movies are definite comedic classics. I know some people are kind of split about the second one because a lot of people say it's very derivative, but I still thought it was a very funny movie. I mean, I still remember, watching that movie a lot, especially with my family. I remember, especially my dad used to laugh at a lot of the jokes in the Home Alone films. But I haven't heard too many good things about the sequels beyond the first two Home Alone films. I'm talking about the third, fourth, and fifth Home Alone films. I'm sure some of you are even shocked to hear that they made a fifth Home Alone, but they did. But I'm just like, oh, what are they going to do? Are they going to do a Home Alone 6? Honestly, I'm really skeptical to see what Disney does with Home Alone. Not because I hated the first two movies. If anything, it's honestly because the first two movies were so, creative that, I honestly think, it's going to be really hard for a sixth film to top that. So I'm just like, what are you going to do, Disney? I'll still wait and see. Maybe they could pull something off, but I'm honestly really skeptical if they can. But okay, so these are my thoughts on the latest Disney Plus updates, and it seems like I was able to do it in a much faster way than in my previous attempts to make this video. So once again, to reiterate, I really do hope that Disney makes a third bundle on top of the one that I talked about in this video, where they offer both Disney Plus and the ad-supported version of Hulu. If that CNET list is accurate, then I will say it is a good start. There's definitely a lot of content to go off of. It's just that I know for a lot of people, myself included, you'll definitely notice that it's not going to have everything that you'll want to have. Not to bring this up again, but Disney. And as for the Fox franchises, like I said, cheaper by the dozen. I don't really have much of an opinion on. Leave me your thoughts down below. I would like to see what they do, especially with Diary of a Wimpy Kid and Night at the Museum. I do still think that there's some potential in those two properties, especially. Home Alone, not so much. But please leave me your thoughts down below. Will you be taking part in that Disney Plus triple bundle, or would you like to see them do something where they just include both Disney Plus and ad-supported Hulu for a discounted price, maybe for something like $9.99 per month? What do you think of CNET's list of the movies that they say are coming to the service? And also, what do you think of the Fox franchises that Disney is considering rebooting? Leave all those thoughts down below. Until next time, this has been Blood Moon Bobby, and thank you guys for watching. Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed this Blood Moon Bobby video. Like and share the video if you enjoyed it, and feel free to leave a comment. Subscribe to my channel, and ring the bell to get notified when I release my latest videos. Follow me at Blood Moon Bobby on your favorite social media platforms to take part in polls, see my tech tips, and to hear about my video plans. Thanks for watching.